Hello there, lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news. Today, the 9th of September in the year 2025. Let's now take a look at news. DPP appeals MALANJI YAMBA convictions and sentences. Agriculture expert urges government to fund irrigation for smallholder farmers ahead of farming season. HH warns against illegal mining. In international news, Trump to skip G20 summit in South Africa. And in sports, CHIPOLOPOLO coach AVRAM praises team despite 2 new loss to Morocco. Join us for these and many more stories after the break.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Television, not just another channel.
Camnet TV main news now showing on Topstar channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube and on the Kenstream app. With the main news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smata. Former Cabinet Minister Chimbakambwili has been found with a case to answer in a matter where he is charged with unlawful assembly. The court ruled that a prima facie case has been established warranting Mr. Kambwili to be placed on his defense. His lawyer, Kennedy Mambwe, informed the court that the accused intends to give sworn in evidence and will not call any additional witnesses. Lusaka Magistrate Kawama Mwamfuli has since adjourned the matter to 25th September 2025 for mention and for the setting of dates for the commencement of defense. Mr. Kambwili is already serving a 5-month sentence imposed by the Kasama Magistrate Court after he was found guilty of hate speech. Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has warned that illegal mining and lawlessness in the sector will not be tolerated, underscoring his administration's resolve to restore order, accountability and transparency. Speaking at the official opening of the Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining Conference in Lusaka, President Hichilema emphasized that all mining operations must be licensed and conducted in line with the law. He further urged stakeholders to embrace safe and responsible practices to prevent environmental degradation. The head of state expressed concern over the increasing number of fatalities, particularly among young people, arising from unsafe and unregulated mining activities. Meanwhile, Mines and Minerals Development Minister Paul Kabuswe noted that all major mining operations have resumed since the UPND assumed office. He said the sector has continued to attract significant investment owing to a stable and investor-friendly policy environment.
No license, and you claim to, what's the size of artisanal and small-scale mines? 200 hectares, Small scale. What about artisanal? 6 hectares. Okay, 6 hectares. My minister, 6 hectares. Thank you, sir. I'm joking with him. So 6 hectares. Now, in that 6 hectares where there's alluvial gold, you go in and start digging. The neighbors hear that there's alluvial gold there. They too also pick up a pick, and eventually on 6 hectares you have 1,000 miners. Do you know what will happen next? You start hacking each other, isn't it? One will pick a shovel and hammer the other one. It is human behavior. it is normal. That's why someone must have a license to that 6 hectares. So that you can wake up every day and go mine in that 6 hectares, and you won't find an American mining there. All of a sudden, they may be more powerful, they even carry a gun, and they scare you off, shoot in the air, and you run away. Then you go to the police and say, no, someone wanted to kill me. Why did they want to kill you? No, where's the license? You need the license. So how are you calling it your area? The 6 hectares is not yours, so you're vulnerable there. Get a license.
Talking about more investment coming through NFCA, in excess of $500 million being invested around the NFCA expansion project. There is a Kitumba mine in Mumbwa, Mr. President, which was also riddled with legal battles, and because of your policy of not mining in court, there it is, will be going into production as well. So really, I cannot forget to mention a mine that was shut down 43 years, which is Kalengwa mine. It's back on board. That has been revived as well.
Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Gilbert Piri, has filed a notice of appeal against the convictions and sentencing of former Foreign Affairs Minister Joseph MALANJI and former Secretary to the Treasury Fredson YAMBA. In the same notice, Mr. Piri indicated his intention to challenge MALANJI's acquittal in relation to the acquisition of the Royal Gibson Hotel, which the state alleged was purchased with proceeds of crime. The DPP has outlined 3 grounds of appeal, among them that the trial court erred in law by sentencing MALANJI and YAMBA to 3 and 4 years imprisonment with hard labor, respectively, despite the aggravating circumstances surrounding the case. Mr. YAMBA was convicted for failing to follow procedure in the transfer of more than 108 million United States dollars for the purchase of a chancery building at the Zambian mission in Turkey. Mr. MALANJI, on the other hand, was found guilty of purchasing 2 helicopters from aviation companies in South Africa using funds allegedly diverted from the chancery transaction in Turkey. Court documents further reveal that MALANJI and others inflated the procurement of the Turkish properties by over 10 million United States dollars. Finance and National Planning Minister Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane has challenged capital market players to play a more active role in driving Zambia's economic growth. Speaking during the capital markets pre-budget meeting in Lusaka today, Dr. Msokotwane said there is need to review the operating hours of the Lusaka Securities Exchange LUSE, with the possibility of extending trading into a 24-hour market. He emphasized that government is open to engaging with the stock exchange on strategies to better link project promoters with sources of capital. Meanwhile, LUSE acting board chairperson Jongo Shirawe underscored the need to strengthen the exchange role in capital mobilization. Chanda Mwango now reports.
As Zambia prepares for its 2025 national budget presentation, the Lusaka Securities Exchange today hosted a pre-budget breakfast meeting in Lusaka, bringing together key players to discuss ways of strengthening capital markets and unlocking new opportunities for economic growth. Finance and National Planning Minister Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane, who was the guest of honor, challenged the markets to innovate further and explore possibilities such as extending the trading hours into a 24-hour economic system while ensuring that project promoters can easily connect with the sources of capital. The minister also underscored the progress made by the government in stabilizing the economy, saying consistent growth remains the cornerstone for tackling unemployment and creating new opportunities for Zambians.
I think you heard the government side. We are looking forward to the 24-hour project, and today said that 2 hours traveling time is a problem. Please also address it. The other issue that I want to leave on the table, raising money is one thing, and I think certainly for me, who have been in this industry for years and years, people go and say, money is never a problem where they are good ideas. Money is never a problem where they are good ideas there, money actually flows.
Meanwhile, Lusaka Securities Exchange Acting Board Chairperson Chongo Chibabwe emphasized that the market must enhance its role in raising capital to support businesses.
Therefore, as an integral part of Zambia's financial system, the capital markets are key to mobilizing long-term capital and investment. While our exchange is relatively young compared to more mature global markets, we are proud of its steadfast growth in terms of market depth, product innovation, and investor participation. Notably, companies such as Commonwealth Energy Corporation and ZCCM-IH have now exceeded the $1 billion in market capitalization, with other issuers including Airtel, Zanaco, Zambia Sugar on track to follow. Despite these achievements, there is still much room for improvement to enhance the market's role as a reliable platform for raising capital.
And representing the Presidential Delivery Unit, Cuthbert Mnangkwenka stressed the need to review existing modalities to broaden participation and remove barriers that discourage investment.
It goes in us structuring and doing a little more in revising the modalities of how our capital market works, and also to ensure that the rules that govern our capital markets, especially, we have the rules that was earlier alluded to. How do we ensure that the compliance rules and the participation rules do not actually stifle, do not work as an inhibitor in other people, in players to actually participate.
The pre-budget meeting served as a platform for the government, market leaders and stakeholders to align on reforms aimed at positioning Zambia's capital markets as a driver of economic transformation ahead of the 2025 national budget. Chanda Mwango for Camnet News in Lusaka.
Climate smart agriculture expert Dr. Oliver Bulaya has called on government to begin allocating resources towards irrigation equipment for smallholder farmers as the country approaches another farming season. He said investing in irrigation infrastructure would help farmers mitigate the risks posed by erratic rainfall patterns. Dr. Bulaya noted that boreholes remain a vital source of water for irrigation, but stressed that the high cost of sinking them has limited farmers' access. He urged government to consider reducing taxes and other charges associated with borehole development to make them more affordable for rural communities. Dr. Bulaya's call comes in the wake of unpredictable rainfall patterns experienced in the last farming season, which left many farmers struggling to cope with reduced yields.
The government projections over the issue of irrigation, enhancing irrigation in the country, as many of our farmers depended on the issue of rain-fed cropping. So we've seen the contribution that is coming from large-scale farmers in the country who are contributing enormously in terms of season cropping of maize, and also not only the larger scale farmers. We are working with smallholder farmers also, those who have water sources. Others, they may have dams, others who may have sources of dam in the areas where they are as source of water. Others may have perennial rivers, wells, and all this. In all these areas, the smallholder farmers in a small way also are contributing in the area of season cropping. But we need to see much more, especially from the smallholder farmers. And I think our goal is that even in the coming budget, we need to see a system of the government providing incentives, especially for sinking boreholes, because there are other farmers who may have some resources, to sink boreholes, but the challenge could be, the taxes that are associated to sinking boreholes, of which many of the farmers cannot manage. So both the large-scale and smallholder farmers contributing in terms of off-season cropping, I think this is good enough, for our country. We need to build the capacity of our smallholder farmers in terms of efficient water usage, especially using drippers as one system that is good in the area of management of water sources.
Namuso Community Development Organization Programs Manager Lyford Banda has stressed the need for heightened sensitization campaigns against early pregnancies, drug abuse and child marriages. Mr. Banda described the rising number of adolescent pregnancies as alarming, calling for concerted efforts from all stakeholders to address the challenge. He added that Namuso Community Development Organization remains committed to complementing government's efforts in the fight against early marriages within the communities. Meanwhile, Mongo District Health Office Representative Consilia Lisepiso said the program will play a critical role in preventing maternal deaths among adolescents. Ms. Lisepiso also appealed to stakeholders to give priority to campaigns against early pregnancies and early marriages, noting that the region continues to record high numbers of such cases. More in the following report.
The high numbers of early pregnancies, drug abuse and substance consumption amongst adolescents is worrisome, and it needs concerted effort from all stakeholders. And in Mungu, Namuso Community Development Organization carried out a sensitization meeting for peer educators from the 3 clinics of its operations, Kande, Irute and Sefra in Mungu district. Speaking to Camnet News in Mungu, Namuso Community Development Organization Program Manager Lyford Banda says there is need to heighten sensitization in order to reduce early pregnancies and early marriages amongst the adolescents.
As we are talking about the future generation, we came to realize that our future, or the future, is dependent on the well-being of these adolescents, because these are the people that will become leaders in the near future. These are the people that society will depend on. One, we want to reduce the number of teen pregnancies in our communities. Not only that, but also we want to make sure that early marriages in our communities are brought to an end. We engage parents, we engage with the different stakeholders, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health. We've also worked with the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Victim Support Unit, to just make sure that these young ones are not rushed into marriages, but they are able to attend their education so that we can have the kind.
And Consilia Lisepiso from Ministry of Health stated that the program will help to prevent the high numbers of maternal deaths amongst the adolescents.
So these programs will really help us as health team to prevent the high numbers on maternal mortality and the death. So let's introduce more of these programs to our teenagers in schools, in the community, so that we reduce on the numbers of early pregnancies, early marriages, and the complications of maternal issues.
Mino, representing other adolescents, Maureen Rutango from Sephora Health Post is appealing to government to control the selling of beer in communities.
What we are really appealing from the government, let the government start dealing from the ground level. Let them start improving the households where these adolescents are coming from. Secondly, we've got a lot of local breweries in our compounds that are producing like beers that doesn't have even the percentage. Those that we let them work on these local champagnes, so that at least when we've got licensed beer halls where there's restriction than these local bars that we have.
Kevin Kabiram Siebo, Camnet News in Mongo District, Western Province.
Two Zambia National Service ZNS servicemen have died under unclear circumstances while on duty at the ZNS furniture factory in Lusaka West, with police pointing to the possibility of foul play. ZNS Chief Public Relations and Liaison Brigadier General Mebo Mlenga Nyone described the incident, which occurred on Sunday, 7 September 2025, as a regrettable loss, and assured the nation that the service is treating the matter with the utmost seriousness. Preliminary investigations by the Zambia police have suggested that the deaths may not have been accidental. ZNS has pledged to work closely with law enforcement agencies to uncover the exact circumstances that led to the tragedy. She further stressed that the ZNS command will not rest until the circumstances surrounding this tragedy are brought to light, adding that the public will be kept informed as investigations progress. Politician Dongo Mubanga has urged voters to support women in the upcoming 2026 elections. In an interview with Camnet News today, Ms. Mubanga stated that women have the potential to make Zambia a better place when elected to office. She pointed out that many men in positions of power have been involved in corruption, a situation she believes is less prevalent among women. Ms. Mubanga emphasized that as a person with a disability, she is fully capable of representing her constituents effectively.
Man who wants to participate, who will participate come 2026 in general elections, and the reason why the electorate or people should vote for women is that we are going to make a change, we want to make a difference, because we have tried the men, they have failed us. So us women, the capability to multitask. This is why we are able to work in offices, we are able to work in marketplaces, we are able to be everywhere and still manage and run homes effectively. And moreover, we are a very trusting species in terms of finance. This is why you even find most of the people that are in crime or corruption or stealing, particularly in this case taxpayers' monies, are men. So let's try women, because we are more honest, we are economical, we can make this country a better place, we can make a difference so that we all live a better life, from the person in Shangombo, the person in Luwingu, the person in Kawama, the person in Chawama, the person in Kwacha, the person everywhere. Let's have a share piece of this great cake, Mother Zambia. Vote for women to make it.
You are still watching main news on Camnet TV, broadcasting live on Topstar Channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on the Canestream app. We now go for a break, but do join us for international and sports news when we come back. Do stay tuned.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield.
Rainglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palabana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ that can be trusted.
Welcome back and thank you so much for still staying with us. And now in international news. When world leaders meet at the G20 summit in Johannesburg in November, US President Donald Trump won't be there. He says he's keeping the event and sending his Vice President J.D. Vance in his place. Trump has had a tense relationship with South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa, who will host the event. The two men clashing during a White House meeting earlier this year, with Trump repeating unfounded allegations that white farmers in South Africa are victims of a genocide. Ramaphosa's government has firmly denied that violence affecting the farmers is racially motivated. Here's a roundup of international stories.
Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has resigned following violent protests against a government ban on social media and widespread corruption. The unrest erupted after police opened fire on demonstrators, killing 19 people. In response to the public outcry, the government lifted the social media ban, which had led to significant opposition protests. Curfews have been imposed in several cities as political tensions escalate, with the calls for accountability growing louder among the populace. Sharma said he was stepping down immediately. Previously, the government said it was forming an investigative committee to submit a report in 15 days and that compensation will be given for the lives lost and free treatment for the wounded. The violence unfolded as Nepal's government pursues a broader attempt to regulate social media with a bill aimed at ensuring the platforms are properly managed, responsible and accountable. The proposal has been widely criticized as a tool for censorship and punishing government opponents who voice their protests online. The registration requirement applied to about 24 social networks widely used in Nepal.
Israel is intensifying the bombing of Gaza City, bringing down a high-rise building after warning residents to evacuate. The Israeli military said it was targeting Hamas observation posts and bombs placed around the 12-story office block. I promised you a few days ago that we would bring down the terror towers in Gaza. That's exactly what we're doing. In the last 2 days, 50 such towers have fallen. The Air Force has taken them down. Now all of this is just an introduction, just a prelude to the main powerful operation, a ground manoeuvre of our forces, which are now organising and gathering into Gaza City. And so I say to the residents of Gaza, I'm taking advantage of this opportunity, and listen to me carefully. You've been warned. Get out. The city is the largest Palestinian city and still home to around 1 million people, despite the population struggling under conditions of famine. The Red Cross has warned that there's no safe way to evacuate everyone from the city, given the widespread destruction of infrastructure and extreme shortages of food, water and medical care. When G20 leaders meet in Johannesburg in November, they'll have to make do with US Vice President J.D. Vance. President Trump has said he won't be attending. Trump has had a tense relationship with South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa, who will host the event. The two men clashed during a White House meeting earlier this year, with Trump repeating unfounded allegations that white farmers in South Africa are victims of a genocide. It's a claim Ramaphosa firmly denies. The G20 is made up of the world's largest economies and African unions. Leaders meet annually to discuss global economic policies. South African officials have welcomed Vice President Vance's participation and said the success of the summit lies in substantive discussion rather than the presence of any single leader. This year's summit has the theme Solidarity, Equality and Sustainability. It's the first time the summit will be held on the African continent.
And finally, in sports news this evening, CHIPOLOPOLO coach AVRAM Grant expressed pride in his team's performance despite suffering a 2-0 defeat to Morocco in a Group E FIFA World Cup qualifier at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola. Speaking at the post-match press conference, Grant highlighted that the team played well overall, but 2 critical errors led to Morocco's goals. Grant praised his team's performance, saying they were much better than Morocco in terms of overall play. Grant expressed optimism about the team's future, citing the emergency of young players from Europe. The CHIPOLOPOLO will conclude their FIFA World Cup campaign next month with matches against Niger and Tanzania. Despite the loss, Grant remains positive about the team's progress. And that sporting item concludes this edition of the main news on Camnet TV. But before we go, a recap of stories that made headlines. DPP appeals MALANJI YAMBA convictions and sentences. Agriculture expert urges government to fund irrigation for smallholder farmers ahead of farming season. HH warns against illegal mining. Trump to skip G20 summit in South Africa. CHIPOLOPOLO coach AVRAM Grant praises team despite 2-0 loss to Morocco. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Matthew chapter 1 verse 21. It reads, "And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins." We end the Bible reading and we end the main news on Camnet TV. But dear viewer, like always, do remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel. Now broadcasting live on Topstar channel 6, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube and the CanStream app. Now on behalf of the entire production team, Apello, Joe Smarter, good evening and God bless.